Welcome, everyone, to the Beyond the Zone podcast, a podcast all about card games. And yes, it's all about card games. And today we have a special guest, a big fan of card games himself.
Almost 200. Also, I do have a Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Big.
Yes, he does.
Yes, I do. Yes, I'm a big fan of card games. And today we're going to be talking about the number one thing that Yu-Gi-Oh likes to do a lot, that I'm pretty glad for, is reprints and how they've been lately. Because they've been good, actually. I like how Yu-Gi-Oh does lots of reprints because it makes casual players like us able to get our hands on the $60 cards for cheaper.
That is true. Now, let me rephrase this to everyone watching. Out of all the card games, yes, everyone does do reprints. Pokemon recently has started doing art reprints from older sets, but they aren't as cheap or as collectible. Then there's Magic that does, but that's for other reasons because they're old and they haven't been reprinted in so long that people need them in new decks. And usually they get reprinted like what, every year?
Yeah, they get reprinted in Commander decks, and sometimes they do get reprinted in in Theos Beyond Death, the new set from Magic. They reprinted a card that came out in the old Theos block, Gary. So he's back. So they reprint cards in the main sets and some other subsets or Commander decks. Mostly in Commander decks though, because Commander is a format where you can use any old cards from anywhere, but sometimes old cards are really expensive to get your hands on, so they reprint
Yeah.
them to make them cheaper. And then Yu-Gi-Oh,
But
well, Yu-Gi-Oh is probably the king of reprint.
oh yeah, that is true. Out of all the reprints, Yu-Gi-Oh is the king. Even though some of the reprints does lower the value of the cards, usually it doesn't matter because they're still a staple. They're still gonna use it, and usually they come out in bigger rarity, like or lower rarity, like the gold series that had number Titanic Hope. It was one of the Galaxy Eyes. Wasn't it reprinted as a super rare?
So no, that
Eh,
Interrupted Kaijo Slumber also got reprinted in Heroes Revenge as a
Yeah.
secret rare, and I think the original rarity of it was just a super, so it got
Yeah,
a
because
rarity boost.
but that's not too bad, especially because it was already expensive back then, but now it's only like a few cents, almost $1, but it's really good and really easy to get
And
once
last
the
year we
set is
got
still.
the 2019 Megatins that reprinted a lot of good cards and also
Ooh.
gave us some new cards that impacted the meta.
The 2019 Megatins were one of the most beautiful ones, one of the best ones, and one of the ones that's going to be remembered for a very long time because it gave us a staple card that some people use for spam decks, especially because you can psych them out, especially like when you say like, how many sums is that? Oh, you mean
Uh,
5? Oh, you shouldn't have done that.
it hurts Nibiru counteracts combo decks that
It's
go off and do a
I
lot
love
of
that
things in
card.
one.
I love
It's
using it
scary.
against this guy. He gets so scared of that card, especially when I say like, "How many summons is that?" It's like, "Oh, you should be afraid of my hand. It's Nibiru." But
Yeah,
usually I never have it.
usually not. I play pendulums, but rip pendulums in January. Oof.
Yeah.
But now I might go to
Even
Heroes of Synchros.
oh yeah, with Heroes, the new Master Rule 5 that we'll talk about in a different podcast. Hope you guys tune in for the next one. We're not sure what the next one's going to be. These are pre-recorded in bulk so you guys can see it. There's no actual like news event that's going on during this time of recording unless Starduelist wants to talk about it and he contacts me and we're like, "All right, let's talk about it." Then we'll do it. But right now, we're just having fun. But reprints 2019, even though I was out of Yu-Gi-Oh, that one got me back into it because it was such a good one, especially Sword.
Yeah, definitely with the Regeki too. That was a nice reprint. A Seeker of Regeki. That thing was really hard to pull in
Oh
Seto
yeah.
Kaiba because it was reprint. It was reprint in Legendary Collection Kaiba, but it was really hard to pull. So I kind of happy I got one in the promo pack in with the Mega 19s, 10s. So that's another good
Mhm.
reprint to get.
That was
Now we have the Regeki and the Feather Duster.
the one issue with that set, the Kaiba one, was that the secret rares were the certain one you wanted was way too hard to pull. Like you opened like two of them, I opened one, and none of us pulled a lightning.
Actually, I opened 3.
Oh, three. That was four in total. None of us got a lightning.
Nope.
And lightning was the one card I needed to build this new deck that would have been a beast, like literal beast to fight against, especially with the new support for Utopia. that people are just not bothering to look at. Like they're really good cards.
Oh yeah,
You know how to play it,
Lightning's
you
a
know how
good
to
card.
use it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing they did print it when some people got Lightning, but it was hard to get because it only came out in the manga before it
Ooh,
actually became in a set.
don't remind me about the manga.
A reprint that they did,
The
and
only
now
way
with
you could
the
get that
also
card from the manga was if you literally went to an actual bookstore and actually bought 3 copies.
pretty much before
Any
they
other way?
reprinted it.
You can't trust eBay, you can't trust Amazon. You practically could not trust anyone online, just physically. I was that kid that went to the library, bought a new book, checked out a new book and took out the card from the back. I'm sorry, but everyone did it, so I did as well. I'm not ashamed of it.
Some of it.
But
Yeah.
with all these reprints,
Also, since the
I
new
do have
rules
one
are going to be
question
coming
for
out,
you. I do have one question for you. Um, why do you think Engage was reprinted if they knew they were gonna ban it completely? Just strike down Sky Strikers in total. Like it was reprinted with the 2019 Megatons, and then all of a sudden it just gets striked. It's like
pretty much
why? Like, do you have a theory about this? Because that's pretty bad for everyone who like bought a ton of that just to get 3 copies.
true. But I mean, people are probably already knew it was coming sooner or later. I mean, it had
That's true.
Sky Striker's been in the meta for like since 2000, see, 2018 or 17. They've been around. They've been around for a
Hmm.
while. Their
Very long time.
original, oh yeah, very long time. So people, even though it's kind of weird that they reprinted it on
I feel
in the
bad for
Megatins,
vampires from that set.
it they get yeah.
Sky
I
Strikers were hyped when that set came out. For hires as well. Like not as hype as Sky Strikers, and then vampires was like, what's vampires?
pretty much. Actually, I went to regionals last year and I got my butt kicked by kind of like vampire zombies because
Mm.
vampires are a zombie archetype or type pretty much. But yeah, that's what I think people they probably knew, but people still bought it because like casual people who just play don't follow the ban list, they can still play the deck they want. So people will
How
still
old
play it.
is
But
Dragon
it's cheap
Maids?
now. Dragon Maid
Yeah. When did it come out? This year or last year?
last year. I
Do
think
you-
either the end of November or beginning of December.
like it's been like 2 to 2-ish months.
Yeah,
And now people weren't buying it just because it was a fusion, Master Rule 5 was announced, and now all of a sudden it's practically gone from everywhere, just like the magical hero packs. They're all
yeah.
gone. You go to a store, you're gonna find some old like discount ones, some Bakura packs, Chaos Impact, that one sucks. Dark Neostorm, a few, and a few other random packs, but you're not gonna find those.
They have value in them.
Yeah. Like I went they had a freshly new open box from the new set. What was it?
Ignition Assault.
Yes. And a few packs were removed and replaced with those discount like buy this has like 20 cards and one guaranteed hollow.
One of those things.
Yeah. It wasn't I think they pulled out the very good cards. I don't know how they got that. I don't know metal detector. Actually, if we should get a hand metal detector. One of the I know which one. We'll test it out for everyone. We'll get one of them. It's a metal detector, but it's for like for close-ups rather than using that bulky thing and just grabbing it from the top and just like putting the item right next to it just to see if it's metal or gold. No,
Yeah.
it's like a little lantern that you stick to it, and the louder the sound, the purer it is. So let's test out if they have any kind of metal. I doubt it, but it would be a fun video to just convince people you could use these to pull the good cards. Imagine if it worked though.
That'll be crazy. That means there'll be a new way you can hunt down shinies or hollows.
But the thing is, it won't work because every pack has a guaranteed hollow in them. So
Oh yeah, it's
it would
true.
just beep on all of them. I
The
guess now
older,
you
but the older
older
packs you can
packs.
still do.
Yeah, actually, when we went, so guys, we there's a location in our state in our near our city called Player Draw. They have vintage packs from Yu-Gi-Oh, pre-old ones, like what was the oldest one they had there, or the one you bought?
Photon Shockwave.
Yes, and the
They have
oldest for
they even
Pokemon
have,
was like platinum
I
ish.
think so. And then Magic, they have really old sets from Magic. Because
Now,
I think Plain Draw is more of a Magic store,
yeah,
but they
Magic
still sell every
Store-ish.
other. Yeah, they still
But
sell
did
other
you
card games.
see the 5Ds box?
You mean the tin? Because they had a tin from
Oh,
2009.
wait, that was a tin?
They had a 5Ds tin. It's empty though, but yeah, it's from 2009.
Oh, did it had a character on it, or did just was it like dark blue and then the logo of 5Ds?
It had a window that we don't get anymore where you can
Oh
see a
no no
card
no!
because back. Oh,
The one I was talking about was like as big as those magic like pre-built boxes, and yeah, like the one I bought for like when I started playing Magic, it was kind of like that width, that big,
yeah. So kind
and
of like
it
a Pokemon Elite Trainer box, pretty much.
yes, and it said Yu-Gi-Oh 5D on it. I
That's
was wondering
cool.
if you saw it. It was in the back shelf right under where they had all the packs at the same level, right under it.
Yeah,
It was in the corner area. I don't know what it was. If everyone has seen the newest episode of video of Cyber Knight, it kind of looked like that 5Ds box he opened up. Yeah, it kind of seemed similar to that one. I don't know if you saw it, but that's how similar it was.
it must have been a cool box, pretty expensive box too.
Oh, well, you would have known unless you asked. And it was new. It was sealed. That thing still had the wrapping on it. But imagine how cool it would have been to just get that.
True. See what stuff it contains.
Yeah.
Now Yu-Gi-Oh's done some things with boxes, mostly in Japan though.
Yeah.
Like they had the box where you get like a calculator, and then you get like a special episode where they did the original Jack versus Yusei, but instead of using Star Dragon and Red Dragon Archman, they used their assault modes instead. Then you get a
Mhm.
special assault mode card, but you can only get that box from Japan or
But
something
the
like that.
problem is, once you get that, you have to get a Japanese DVD reader because
True.
their DVDs are region locked. That's why the coolest for the fans, especially me, that don't have the complete collection of the Godzilla series, it's kind of sad, especially because the one that did have close enough to it is worth almost $100 now. I feel really sad that that happened, but what can you do? You would have never known. Actually, I should have known. It was Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Like, if Valentine stickers can become collectible, I'm pretty sure damn DVD can. Ah.
Yeah.
But you that have been with Yu-Gi-Oh for the longest, do you think at this point, now that Master Rule 5, we'll talk about more in depth in another video, but now with that announcement, is it good to get into it now that there's the 2019 with a lot of staple reprints? I mean, Jackalope, Bigfoot, Nessie, all of those. I mean, and also Monster Reborn, Regeki, and a lot of other ones, Sword.
Yep.
With those reprints, is it a good time right before that? When I don't know when it gets announced or when it's released, when it comes official, Master Rule 5. But is
April
it a good
1st.
time? Ooh, April
Or in
1st?
April. Not first, but in April. I think it might be the
Okay.
first, but yeah, it's in April.
Now, is it a good time to get back into the game?
There's a lot of good sets, and if you like, let's say if you like heroes or synchros, because they're getting a lot of hype lately, the new Duelist pack set gives you a lot of hero support, a lot of synchro support, like new synchro cards, good reprints actually. I think one card in there gets its first reprint because it originally came from the structure deck, the synchro one, and then of course like RandomVictory was saying, in the 2019 Megatins, there's a lot of good cards like Regeki. Yeah, there's cards that are banned too, like Nightmare Murder. You can't use those on that stuff or Engage, but you can still use like Bulbasaur Dragon. Still, you can still Link summon in the new Master Roll. You're not forced to use Link monsters anymore, but but there is still good Link monsters. You can get
Oh
Nightmare
yeah.
Phoenix. Nightmare Griffin, maybe Nightmare Unicorn. Those are really good
Cerberus.
cards. Cerberus too. That's a good card. There's just so many good reprints now with all the recent sets that's coming out. There's a new set coming out. It's kind of like a second Duelist Saga. It's gonna have Cyber Dragon Infinity. It's gonna have a lot of good reprints in it. Actually, just
Ooh.
recently on OCG card, they showed you this whole spoiler set. They showed you all the cards in it, and there's pretty good cards in there. So yeah, I think it's a perfect time to get into Yu-Gi-Oh now because you can get so many good cards for really cheap. If you would have gotten back when those cards first came out, it would have been expensive. But now, since they got reprinted so many times, cards are really cheap to pick up. So then you can actually build yourself a budget deck for really cheap that actually will be really competitive. Since
Yeah.
most competitive decks got smacked down and murdered, like my Pendulum deck, sadly,
I'm happy about that.
and 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 Sky Strikers, even though Sky Strikers are getting had a new got a new card from Ignition Assault, but yeah, a lot of the powerful decks that were running rampant, including Thunder Dragons, also are cut down now. So now it's better for new decks to come and rise and take the meta over. And since now Magicians and yeah, Magicians also got a lot of support and they're really good. And
Oh, a ton
Heroes
of it.
and Synchros, who knows? Maybe one of those decks will take over the meta and become
Now,
popular.
even though they got banned, with your friends, if they allow, you technically can still play with the banned cards. I mean, we allow our friend to play with a lot of banned cards, but we don't mind.
Yeah, we don't mind.
Just because, so what? You get to draw two other cards. It's like, so what? Freaking Pokemon, like the moment I have one card left, usually I usually have 1 to 2 cards left, and it's called Professor Oak's New Theory, also Cynthia's. It's also called Cynthia now, but has the same ability. Place it, shuffle that one card. If it's an energy, even better. Shuffle it back, draw 6 new cards. Like 2 cards compared to 6? Come on, it's not that overpowered, but it still can't change the game compared to others. Unless
Including
you're
Magic.
playing Exodia, then you practically win.
Pretty much. But yeah, even Magic has some cards that let you draw cards. Like they have a card where you can surveil. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. You can either add them to the hand or send them to the graveyard. And
Yeah.
also there's abilities where you can just draw a card. And also there's like I have a card I like to use for red where you discard a card and you draw 2 cards and you can play 4 copies of that card. And if you have enough mana,
Mm.
you can do that 3 times in a row if you want to, or 4 times in a row.
All right, guys. So we talked about reprints. Now we're going to be moving on to another topic, but on that for the next episode. Thank you all for joining, and I hope you stay tuned. You can listen to this on Anchor or on YouTube. I recommend you go listen on Anchor because you don't have to have your damn phone on when playing a YouTube video. That kind of sucks. Come on, YouTube, do a podcast of like I don't know, a system where you can actually turn off your screen and doesn't stop the entire video. That kind of
Pretty
gets
cool.
annoying.
It does.
So, thank you all for listening on today's episode, all about reprints and other stuff, and future topics we'll be talking about. So, that is all for now. Thank you all for listening, and until next time.
Definitely